இந்த நொய்யலுடைய அனுபவத்தை பகிர்ந்து கொள்ள ஆசைப்படுகிறேன். பள்ளிக்கு இப்போ செல்லும் பொழுது இந்த டிஃபன் பாக்ஸில் சாப்பாடு எடுத்துகிட்டு போவோம். அதை சாப்பிட்டு முடிச்சுட்டு குடிக்கிறதுக்கு தண்ணின்னு இப்போ மாதிரி வாட்டர் பாட்டிலெல்லாம் கிடையாது. அந்த ஆற்று தண்ணியவே அப்படி மேலே கொஞ்சம் விலக்கிட்டு அந்த டப்பாவில் மோந்து அப்படியே குடிச்சுக்குவோம். அதே மாதிரி இந்த ஊர் மக்கள் காலையில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, அதிகாலையில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா பெண்கள் குடங்களோடு வருவாங்க. அந்த குடத்தை விளக்கி கழுவி அந்த தண்ணி தான் எடுத்துகிட்டு போய் குடிநீராக பயன்படுத்துவாங்க. நொய்யலாற்று ஒரு தெளிவான அப்படியே கல்கண்டுமா இருக்குது. இந்த சிறுவாணி தண்ணியுடைய ஒரு பகுதி தான் இந்த நொய்யலாற்று நீர் என்பது. அத்தனை சுவையானது. இந்த நொய்யலாற்று நீரே கூட பசி இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு நீராக இருந்தது. அதை அனுபவித்தவர்களுக்கு தான் தெரியும். இதை வார்த்தைகளால் சொல்லி வர்ணிக்கவே முடியாது.
Early 1900s. Nestled among the valleys of the Western Ghats, a long river wound its way through the valley and flowed eastwards, its crystal clear waters carrying the freshness and sweetness of the mountains. The cool waters wading through dense forests and irrigating farmlands. Along the way, it also fed 17 tanks that stored water and sustained life. The tanks quenched the thirst of man and animal alike. On the banks of this river grew a civilization, a very prosperous one. Traders lugged their wares on boats across the river. The river was an integral part of everyday life. Festivals and fairs began on its banks. This town, as we know today, was called Coimbatore. But all this was to change. Perennial became periodic. Copious flow became a trickle. Shimmering lake surfaces gave way to barren lake beds. Things were moving from bad to worse, slowly but surely. Early 1970, the UNDP declared Coimbatore a drought-prone region. The dubious distinction of fastest groundwater depletion came the city's way in 1980. Thousands of borewells were sucking the groundwater dry. At the turn of the century, the worst fears came true. When the monsoons failed for 3 consecutive years, the lakes became bone dry, the borewells sucked out only air. A water surplus city had become water-starved. Coimbatore had become scarce city. When the times get tough, the people get tougher. So did Coimbatore. A few corporates from the city came together to decide how they could mitigate the disaster staring at the city. It was decided that if someone had to save the city, it was to be us, the people of the city. The question itself became the answer. If not us, who? If not now, when? Every small drop had to be saved if the city was to be saved. And thus was born Siruthuli, a Tamil word meaning small drop. The first task was to clean up water bodies to ensure water storage. The team began by cleaning up the Krishnapati tank. It was a big social risk that the people were taking, but they were passionate. Their efforts were fostered by the words of the waterman of India, Sri Rajendra Singh. During his visit to see the activities, he said, "If there is no water in Coimbatore, there can be no water anywhere in the world." This bolstered the spirits even further. The first signs of success were seen with the first showers. The tank filled up in 3 days. There has been no looking back for Siruthuli since then. Sri Rajendra Singh's mantra, "Where it runs, make it walk. Where it walks, make it stand. And where it stands, make it seep into the ground," became the foundation of all future activities. One by one, more citizens came on board, transforming Siruthuli into a people's movement. To ensure that maximum rainwater rushing down the Western Ghats was harnessed, The first task was to clean up the streams that fed the river. This would enable the water to travel from the mountains to the tanks unhindered. A major milestone along the way has been Project Nandangarai, construction of a check dam across the Nandangarai stream. Siruthuli has set an example by being the first NGO to contribute 51% as public contribution for this project. Today, the dam stores 200 million liters of water, bringing cheer to more than 600 farming families in the region. To ensure that water coming in the channels was stored for longer periods and recharge the aquifers, Siruthuli took up the task of cleaning more tanks. The city has 17 tanks, of which 7 were given priority. So far, 1,000 acres of tank bed area has been reclaimed to store 230 million cubic feet of water. Groundwater tables are recharged when water seeps through the soil. Rapid urbanization means less open spaces and more concretization. There is practically no way for the water to seep into the ground. Valuable water goes down the drain during the monsoons. Siruthuli has aggressively promoted rainwater harvesting structures in several parts of the city. So far, around 400 structures have been built in public spaces, along roadsides and institutions to harvest rainwater. All the consistent efforts put in by Siruthuli and the people of Coimbatore have helped the city reconnect with nature. The results of the work is literally there for us to see. Lakes filled to the brim with water, migratory birds making the city home once more, wells with water at reasonable depths, and a significant increase in groundwater levels. The next question was of sustainability. How could more people become part of the movement? The answer came in the form of probably Siruthuli's most visible project, Periyakulam. Over 3 months, men and machines worked tirelessly to desilt and clean the lake. Men and women, young and old, saint and soldier, all came together. More than 10,000 people contributed toil and sweat. And when the rains came, the lake was revived to the joy of one and all. Small drops of sweat, small drops of time, and small drops of unity went on to create an ocean of prosperity for Coimbatorians. Over the past few years, Siruthuli has grown into a people's movement. From treating symptoms of the problem, it has moved on to addressing the root cause. Although water is the focus, several other aspects linked to water, like tree cover and garbage piles in the water bodies, had to be worked upon. Initiated and motivated by none less than former President Shri APJ Abdul Kalam, Siruthuli has taken up the task of increasing the green cover. 500,000 tree saplings have been planted and nurtured. 1.5 million is the goal. A full-fledged nursery is active in supporting the afforestation initiative, which has involved various cross-sections of the society. Waste dumped in lakes and the river has caused great damage to the ecosystem. Siruthuli is actively assisting the citizens and corporation in scientific waste management. Zero garbage localities have become a reality thanks to the efforts of Siruthuli and like-minded NGOs. The learnings from best practices are being shared with citizens. Many rooftop gardens have blossomed following the example of Siruthuli's own terrace garden. To bring more citizens into its fold and to also build a sustainable model for the future, Siruthuli constantly organizes multifarious awareness campaigns, bringing together people from all walks of life. focus is on young minds in schools and colleges. Nurture nature camps, Sittik Kaludan Siruthuli, river walks, public events have all brought people closer to Siruthuli, making it a people's movement. Although significant milestones have been crossed in the last 12 years, the journey is getting into an even more active phase. The restoration of River Noyal is looming large in the horizon. Every stream recovered, every channel cleaned will mean more water in the river. The sentiments are strong and the situation is right. The day is not too far off for Siruthuli's dream of a perennial Noyal to come true. Siruthuli has shown the way how citizens can come together to take ownership of their prized possessions. After all, Mother Earth belongs to all of us, and together we can make the world a better place. One tree at a time, one drop at a time, one person at a time. Siruthuli, one small drop that can create an ocean.
Yes, an ocean of change, an ocean of transformation, an ocean that has helped thousands of citizens come together to take ownership of their city, to reconnect with nature. The theme for Rotary Club of Coimbatore for 2014-15 has been Environment and Entrepreneurship. Rotary Club of Coimbatore is honored and proud to recognize the activities and achievements of Siruthuli and its volunteers in the form of the Amrit Varshini Award.